When it's time to travel in class, Unique Class of Limousine Service offers the finest quality, surpasses all your expectations, and provides the best quality to meet all your needs. Unique Class of Limousine Service is a premier transportation company servicing the Jackson metropolitan area. So book your next wedding, prom, party, or event with the Unique Class of Limousine Service by calling 901 219 4856. You can also follow Unique Class of Limousine Service on Facebook and Instagram. And oh yeah, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. They are back for week 4 of the NFL. Former NFL players Cedric Donaldson and Jameion Spencer. What's up, y'all?
Hey, glad to be back.
What y'all say?
So what's up? Be glad to be back.
Yeah. It's good to be back. Good to be back. How you doing, Jay?
I am phenomenal. So, how are you?
I am well. Just
Good.
dealing with a little change in the weather, I guess, with this sore throat and stuff. So I almost brought tea up here, but I didn't want to get hot and leave y'all on the show by yourselves. So
Ain't nothing a little fair food can't fix.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna probably do some of that when I get off the show and just go to bed so I can get ready for tomorrow. So we'll see. Well, let's get right to it because we got a lot to cover. And remember, we'll try to do 2 minutes per person each game. However, some games we're gonna go over because they got to be talked more than 2 minutes. So y'all ready?
Ready.
All right, we'll start out with Thursday's game. The Bengals went over the Jaguars 24-21. The Jags have lost 19 straight games, the longest streak since Detroit in 2007-2009. Also, this is Urban Meyer's first time as head coach in 18 seasons to lose 4 straight games. Trevor Lawrence is the first rookie quarterback in NFL history selected number 1 overall to play each of the previous 2 number 1 overall picks in 2 straight games. Jameion, we'll start with you.
Yep. So, this was actually surprisingly, it was a very good game. I was I was very excited to see Joe Burrow get out and move around the way he did. Anytime somebody comes off of an injury, you always want to see, again, that first game and then how they progress throughout. But I thought Joe had a little bit of a rough start, but kind of turned it on at the end, man. Started letting that warrior come out in him. We saw a little bit of that Joe Burrow from the swamp kind of roll
Right.
through again. Look, I was excited, man, and look, the Bengals look alive, and despite all, again, Trevor and I think Jacksonville got some work to do, but Cincinnati, they impressed me, and it's them pulling it out, last minute there, but they look good to me. They looked energized and ready to roll for the season.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, well, as you know, if you can go back a couple of shows, I was never big on Trevor Lawrence, but
Right.
I can say this, man. I've watched all the games so far, and he's getting better and better every week.
Okay.
Or whatever. So I got to give it to him. Urban Lap Dance Meyer,
Did you say lap dance?
Yeah, lap dance.
Wait a minute. I was like, I know I'm not feeling too hot, but I'm like, are my ears clogged?
Yeah, man, it's Urban Lap Dance Meyer. Yeah. But they look good, man. I'm a Joe Burrow fan, so I watched for Joe Burrow and see what Chase was gonna do or whatever. And, they did their thing, but I left. I wasn't surprised by Joe because that's who he is. But I felt better about Trevor. Like once the game was over, or whatever. So it was a good game, man. I try to dodge the Jaguars as much as I can, but glad to watch.
Urban Lap Dance Meyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Internet and Twitter is eating them up right now.
Yeah.
My brother get a table dance.
Look,
just been
him and brother Ogeron, they eating them
Yeah,
up
oh,
right
man.
now.
Eating them up, man.
Y'all want to elaborate?
Well, yeah,
Jamie.
Urban was caught in a bar after the game. After they lost, he stayed in Ohio, and he was caught on tape in a bar getting a lap dance by a young lady that's not his wife.
Oh, wow.
See, this is where the rubber meets the road. I saw him in a counseling session trying to have Bible study in a place where yeah, let's just go to the next game. I can't finish.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna move on. You know, Madge ain't finna give him no lap dance, so Madge is at the house. Mad. He gonna get it. Trust me and believe. If he hadn't already gotten it. All right, we're gonna move on.
He was mentoring.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was a mentoring session. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, he was mentoring. Praise
Yes,
God.
yes.
All right, let's move on to Sunday's play, and we will start with Jess. What did I put? The Jets. Oh, I got Jess. Jess. I was like, who is that?
Right,
The Jets
Jess
over the
hilarious.
Titans. Jets over the Titans, 27-24. This is the Jets' first win of the season. Zach Wilson has tied Geno Smith for the most interceptions by a Jets rookie in their first 4 career starts. Zach is also the first Jets quarterback with 2+ pass touchdowns in 2 of his first 4 career starts since Chad Pennington in 2002. Somebody's texting me. I'm sorry, y'all. Said we'll start with you.
Hey, man, I was super surprised that the Jets even got a win, first and foremost. But Zach looked good, man. And, what was ironic, Corey Davis, I think that's his name, Corey Davis, the receiver that's for the Jets off the touchdown, he was just with the Titans, so that's where he came from. So, it was just great to see, like, him get a chance to get back at his old team. And all these Titan fans around here, man, they just ready to throw the whole season away. They're like, man, we lost to the Jets. Our lives are over, man.
I mean, it is kind of embarrassing. I mean, they are like the worst team. So
I mean, but they've been picking first in the draft for the last 30 years. And so they got some talent on the team.
But what's going on if they have the talent? Is it the coaching?
It's just Jets culture, man. It's bad.
Okay.
And so I can't even blame the coach. Like the culture hires the coach. So
yeah.
But I was surprised, man. And I actually watched a little bit of a good bit of that game. I got the Sunday ticket, so I just be flipping all around watching all the games. So I try not to watch the Jets game more than I try to dodge the Jaguars game. So
you dodged 2 teams, the Jets and the Jaguars. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Jameion.
So I'm this was a scary game to me. And I'm not sure if it was scary because of how the Jets won or how the Titans lost. If I'm a Titans fan, I would be extremely concerned because as much potential as that team has and what they bring to the table, a Mike Vrabel, i.e. Belichick, you expect for him to be well coached and you expect for him to be physical. I actually saw the Jets defense bringing it to Derrick Henry and bringing it to all of those guys over there. And that's what I looked at and it really caught my attention. And I thought to myself, wow, is this truly the Jets that we've been used to seeing? The Jets defense were flying around. It was 12, it was almost like 12, if not 13 men to the ball all the time, right? And they were all over the place. And for me, I enjoyed watching, the Jets defense play. I mean, especially a young kid, middle linebacker, Williams.
Oh, yeah.
He was a madman on fire. And, for me, I know we look at the organization and we say, look, it's a cultural thing, but, you see some of those players like we saw, Demario Davis a few years before he left the Jets, and ended up, being a superstar in New Orleans. But I really saw a couple of those guys that, man, if not with the Jets, they're going to be some superstars down the road. So I had fun. I had fun watching that one, but I was very surprised by how out physical the Jets, how much more physical the Jets were than the Titans.
Yeah.
Cedric, if you had watched it a little bit longer, you would have saw that.
Well, I realized. So first of all, let me tell you, I'm traumatized by big backs. It's really James' fault. So I was watching and I noticed that Tennessee had Julio and what's the kid from Ole Miss? They were both out. And I was like, man, they're gonna get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. But Tannehill is not that great of a passer. So if your two best receivers are out, I was like, all right, well, they're finna get a heavy dose of, and I just thought Derrick Henry was gonna run all over them, man. But they did. They played well, man.
And you're right. Ryan Tannehill is 5 of 19 in games with 40+ pass attempts, the fewest wins among quarterbacks with 20 such games since being drafted in 2012. So yeah.
I mean, the dude was a receiver, and they somehow drafted him as a quarterback, and so they got what they paid for.
Well, sounds like I'm not going to even bring up his name on the show. I was about to. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But it sounds like somebody who likes to kneel and pray. And yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that. Whatever. Moving on.
They got leave Urban alone. Leave Urban alone.
Not Madge's husband. No, not Madge's husband.
No, I know who you're talking about, but that was another one of his projects. Leave Urban alone.
No, I'm just talking about trying to make somebody be something they're not. So that's all. I wasn't talking about Madge's husband. Y'all, that is not his wife's name. I don't know her name. I just Urban and Madge. I mean, it just sounds right. Okay. Next, we have Chiefs over the Eagles, 42-30. Patrick Mahomes has tied Hall of Famer Ken Stabler for the most wins in a quarterback's first 50 career starts since the 1970 merger. Tyreek Hill, excuse me, y'all. Tyreek Hill has surpassed Larry Johnson for the 4th most touchdowns in Chiefs history. Jameion, the last time we spoke, I mean, it was the first week also. I was all excited for my frat, for the Eagles, and they haven't won a game since. Jalen Hurts is one of 2 quarterbacks since 1950 with 30+ rush yards in each of their first 8 career starts. What was that, a fluke? I mean, they were playing the Falcons. I mean, so it couldn't have been too much of a fluke. But how do the Eagles get back on track?
Well, so I think the Eagles have to get back to the fundamental parts of football for me. I saw an offense that was out of sync. At times saw a little bit of roll, but for the most part, they didn't get a rhythm going, in my opinion. I think as talented as Jalen Hurts is, and as much as he was trying to force some of the issues, they need balance, and he needs balance to be really truly effective at that position. For me, I can tell you this much. I mean, as much as we love and the Chiefs and everything else, I'm really starting to ring the alarms on the Chiefs. Because I think it wasn't so much that the Chiefs played well. I think the Eagles did not play very fundamental sound football. They weren't disciplined on defense. I mean, I saw a lot of blown coverages for the most part. And when you say that, when I'm looking at a crowd of Eagles in one place and people running free, it just makes you wonder as to truly how these guys are developing or at that chemistry at that level. So. For me, I saw a lot of red flags on both sides of the ball. But as far as the Eagles getting back on track, I really think they just got to slow down and take it back to basics.
Back to basics. Okay. Sid?
Yeah, man. Jalen Hurts, I think they're trying to make Jalen Hurts be a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And
what does that mean? What does that mean? What do you mean?
He's a winner. Like, you put the ball in his hands and just let him play and let him figure it out. He's a winner. But when you get him to try to be a Drew Bledsoe, one of those, Yeah, he's not that type of quarterback. And he starts to think, but he's a leader and a winner. So just let him do that, And I think the Eagles I like the Eagles coach, man. I think at some point he's gonna figure it out, But if not, the best way to get him on track is Deshaun Watson.
Little cutthroat, but I agree.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Ooh. You just gonna take my fret off. No.
But you know what? I can feel kind of what Ced's coming from, because just like iron sharpens iron, Jalen has shown us that he does well as the underdog. He does well when they're packing him away and forgetting about him, right? He reminds people how much of a talent he is when the deck is stacked against him. So I can feel you. You bring somebody like a Deshaun in there that truly threatens that level of comfort. We may see a different Jalen roll through.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Jalen now. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a winner. And if they allow him to play the way that he's used to playing, kind of like how your boy's doing, Lamar Jackson and with the Ravens. So
don't talk about that yet. Look at Jamie. He's my don't. We're gonna get to Lamar. Just hold on. I want us to stay on track. Look, I'm always got to be in order. Okay. And I agree with that, what you said. He does put you in the mind of Lamar Jackson. I get what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. And we'll go back to that. So a very impressive win, Cedric, for the Cowboys over the Panthers, 36-28. Both are 3-1, and Dallas is 10-3 versus Carolina. Dak Prescott has surpassed Danny White for the second most games with 3+ pass touchdowns in Cowboys history. The Cowboys are 25-4 in games when Ezekiel Elliott has 100+ rush yards. The Panthers are 0-12 in the games when allowing 22 points since 2020. And Sam Darnold is the first quarterback in NFL history with 5+ rush touchdowns in their team's first games of a season. Cedric, is Dallas the real deal? And let me ask, and the reason why I said that, because I believe it was season 2019, 2020, they were 3-1 then. Yeah. And then they just went, they look like the real deal to me, but I'm asking you because that's your team.
That's my team. Mm-hmm. Never played for them, but I'm a lifelong fan. Dallas is, they were the real deal back when it was 3-1 before, and they're the real deal now. But that don't mean they're going to the Super Bowl. It's Dallas has a culture issue too. For example, number 7, Diggs. At the beginning of the game, he was getting ate up by number 2. What was the kid's name for Carolina? I can't think his name, but number 2 was eating him up. So Diggs ended up getting 2 picks, pretty back to back. And then they take him out the game and say it's player management, and the game not over, And now, they start coming back, and they get it within a score. That's the dumb culture. I'm saying, like, that's not winning culture. Like you want to stump people out. Yep. And Dallas don't have that like yet, because somebody on the sideline felt that it was safe enough with a whole quarter left to take a guy out and do player management, with them. So they have the talent. That's my team. They look good. I was real impressed by what Joe Brady is doing with Sam Darnold. Man, I can't think of that. DJ Moore, that's the name. He was tearing a hole in number 7 and Diggs, Trayvon Diggs, at the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was a good game, man. I enjoyed it. I want to see the Cowboys like stump people's throats out there.
Except the Bears. Except the Bears. Jameion.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like Ced. I wonder what's going on behind the scenes. I've said that I've liked seeing the Cowboys play. I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you got a lot to be excited about.
Right.
Zach didn't throw any eye-popping numbers out there, but I thought he was very consistent and didn't make a lot of mistakes.
Mhm.
The more intriguing part to me, honestly, was, and maybe it's somewhat of a bias, but I'm used to Dallas having those big time, big play receivers. Your Michael Irvins and even when my man X was
Yes.
yes, Dez was there.
Oh
I
yeah.
was looking for CD Lamb to have a bigger showing than he did. I thought CD kind of laid down somewhat, just watching him, he didn't seem like he was really into it, and on the other side of it, you almost saw somewhat of a dissension between him and, the receivers coach, who was, obviously trying to get him in a frame of mind. But that was kind of one of those things you wondered what was going on, in a game like that, especially in conference. It did concern me that, when you get late in the season, who you going to be able to count on? Who's Dak going to be able to count on? Because, as much as we try and put everything on that position, we know they're only as good as those guys around them. And, and they're going to have to come to the table. I thought, Deeks, he stepped up, Zeke, he got up there, he started doing his thing, started feeling a little bit, wanting to be fed. But, again, when it comes back to that balance and Dak wants to go downfield, who is he going to go to, right? And I hate for it not to be my man CD. So,
yeah. And, and Dallas has that relationship. I know y'all probably knew somebody like this where mom and dad was on two different levels. Like the mom would say you can do it, and the kid would go over the mom's head and go to dad, and dad be like, yeah, you can do it, just to be spiteful to the mom. Well, that's kind of like how Dallas run. Like the coaches can say something or get in the player's face, but they don't respect the coaches because they know they selling jerseys for Jerry.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what when the rubber meets the road in the playoffs, Dallas is always, ever since 1998, they've been struggling because of that. So we'll see. I'm not gonna get too hyped until we win at least one. Now, if we win one playoff game, I'm gonna be unbearable. Yeah, I'm gonna be unbearable. Yeah.
Because some of the fans are already talking Super Bowl. They're excited, and I get it. That is my secondary team when they're not playing the Bears. So I was getting I didn't watch the game because I was at the Saints game, but I was getting the alerts on my phone. So we'll see. Yeah. As I mentioned, I was at the Saints game, and this past Sunday that loss was a heartbreaker in OT, 27-21 to the Giants. And before I move any further, let me tell you something about the Saints fans. That's my second Saints game that I've gone to in the Dome. They are probably one of the best fan base in the entire NFL. And I've gone to lots of games.
Yeah, they're loud.
They're very, very loud, extremely loud. They need to teach us crowd participation at the Jackson State games. They are amazing. The crowd participation, but even in that loss, I guess because they be kind of, like drunk and happy. They weren't even mad. They was just like, yeah. I mean, and they was just smile. I was like, I would have been so pissed. But I mean,
well, look here, man. You want to learn how to do that. Jameion knows you can come about 50, 60 miles down the highway to Tiger Dome. I mean, and we'll show you how to.
Oh, LSU. Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. So that's what the Saints got it from, man. It's the same people. They just drive on down.
Oh, they just drive over.
Yeah.
Just an hour away. That's it.
Just an hour away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, that was a heartbreaker. Daniel Jones has 300 plus pass yards for the sixth time in his career. No other Giants quarterback has had more than 4 such games in their first 3 seasons since 1950. Daniel Jones' interception in the second quarter was his second in his last 10 games. Marcus Williams' interception in the second quarter was his 15th career interception, team high scoring entering the NFL in 2017. And the Saints have scored in 308 straight games. Jameion, what are your thoughts on this game?
So I'm gonna start on on the New Orleans side. I'm gonna go ahead and, address the elephant in the room, Jameis. As much as we want to, throw Jameis back into that old, 40 interception year with Tampa, I didn't see that. I think at this point, somebody needs to wrangle him back in and remind him that he is the QB, right? I don't think as Jameis was as inconsistent as was probably misreading a lot of his pre-snap reads, right? I thought that there was some obvious pressure in his face that was showing on pre-snap that he did not look at because he was too busy looking in the secondary trying to figure out what games those guys were playing, right? And not paying attention to everything up front. The triangles were right in his face. I think a center or somebody's going to have to sit him down to say, hey, dude, start at the bottom and then work your way through, right? Work through your way through from pre-snap reads and then look at your progression and try to anticipate, and I think that's where he gets into a lot of trouble for the most part. The Giants showed up, but, as much as we want to say that the Giants offense came to play, Saquon, Barkley got out, he ran hard. And, and Jameion and those guys, they were tagging them. And then you can tell this became one of those old school battles that, look, it was mano a mano, right? Big on big. And those guys showed up, so, but I do think, if they're going to have a chance, then, Jameis, I feel like is the guy. I don't think Taysom is the guy. We saw how contained he can be with an average Giants D, right? Even doing what he was supposed to do, he just wasn't that effective, right? And so, for me, it's going to have to be with Jameis starting with the sound decisions and having the confidence to just move forward with it. So, but kudos to the Giants. They showed up, they played hard, and that was a good win for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on Jameis, man. People bash him for having 40 interceptions or whatever in Tampa. But if you look back at Tom Brady when he first started last year, he was on the same path.
He was struggling, yeah.
Yeah, he was struggling. So, now that he's in a new defense, it's his first year. I don't think Sean Payton is making it easy on him because, I don't know how many people in that locker room want Taysom Hill to start, but I'm pretty sure there's some in there because, Jameis is a clown. He's embarrassed. Some of the stuff he it gets embarrassing. But I think he's the best option. And Sean Payton should just really allow Jameis to get a hold of the team instead of, switching it back and forth like he's been doing. But on the other end, the Giants, man, the Giants got a lot of talent. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. I like the little receiver Sterling, man. He's a dog. So I wasn't surprised that the Giants won. Being a Cowboys fan, I wanted the Giants and the Saints to lose. I couldn't make it happen. I don't know, man. I prayed.
Pray for the tie.
Prayed the baby football Jesus, man. He ain't make it.
He didn't listen.
Nah, he ain't listen.
He didn't listen. And now they shouldn't have lost that game though, y'all, because that last touchdown, and I think it was Barkley, they got in at the end. In regulation.
Yeah, he landed at goal. When he landed right on the goal line.
Yes, it's just like they just parted the sea to let him through, and I'm like, what is going on? I was just, that was interesting.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, the Browns. Let's see, where am I? Next, we have the Browns over the Vikings, 14-7. It's like Freaky Friday with the Browns being like a contender. This is so weird. They're 3-1 and the Vikings are 1-3. That's odd to me. That's odd.
Yeah. Hey, man. The Browns are loaded, man. If they could just get it all together.
I know, it's just weird seeing it though. It's just odd. The Browns have started 3-1 in 2 straight seasons for the first time since 1993-95. under Bill Belichick. Baker Mayfield has tied Milk Plum for the second most quarterback wins for their first 4 seasons in Brown history. Justin Jefferson has surpassed Percy Harvin for the 4th most games with 70 reception yards and 1 reception touchdown among players in their first 2 seasons. Say what you got on this matchup?
Hey man, first of all, go Tigers, Justin Jefferson, Greedy Williams, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Patrick Peterson, Daniel Hunter. Am I going too long? Am I going too long? Oh, but anyway.
Name them all.
I'm thinking about like a second team making the Browns my second team. And not because of all the LSU players, man, but I love how Baker Mayfield plays, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I like the mistakes. I like the whatever. Like, whatever he's doing, he's cocky with it. And I think the team is going to follow him. They had OBJ out there. They was trying to – it was his first game back. I think they was trying to get him back into the rotation. Mm-hmm. As we know, we saw this last year. The offense works better when you're not trying to force him into the rotation. Now, he's a big ego in the room or a big aura in the room, but they gotta, I'm OBJ fan, man, but they gotta kind of let him find his way. Don't force the offense on him. Just let him find his way. I don't know what to say about the Vikings, man. I believe this. Like you said, the quarterback is like the most valuable person in the room as far as like controlling the temperament of your team. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say anything about it on the show, man, but just go back and look up what all the Vikings quarterback has been saying. All this, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you got to do one thing to win games. If you don't do it, we could possibly lose games. You the starting quarterback, and you saying like, "Hey, I'm not gonna do it." That I don't know, man. I don't see how that locker room can follow him. So. Well, I expect them to lose a lot more, and I hate it for Justin Jefferson and Thielen and the rest of them.
It's looking kind of rough, Jamie.
Yeah. I'm along the same lines. I think I'm gonna just say Kirk Cousins overrated, in my opinion. At best he's a suitable backup, right? He's a game manager. I think that team needs a spark from that position. But to be honest, really, this victory was all on Cleveland's defense and their running game, right? Yeah. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. I mean, those cats right there are phenomenal. I mean, we got to look for them late in the season to be really running rip shot along a lot of guys. That's a dangerous combination. And, watching the Browns swarm the way they did, though, D linemen, I mean, I don't know if we've got a better pass rush combination than you do with the Browns right now. I mean, they were fun. They were fun to watch, man. I loved watching. As much as I'm not a Kirk Cousins fan, I loved watching him duck for his life. It was beautiful, right? It was beautiful. So, I have to say, man, we got to be excited about the Browns' defense and their running game.
Oh yeah.
Y'all don't make me laugh. I told you I'm coughing and stuff. Stop. Cedric looked at me like, girl, please. We laughing all night. So up next is my Bears, boo. My Bears. The Bears have a 6-1 record versus Lions in the Matt Nagy era. In week 3, with Justin as quarterback, we lost. He had 68 yards, 41.2 passer rating, and he was sacked 9 times. Ooh, that's a lot. In week 4, we won 209 yards, 82.7 passer rating, and sacked once. The line became the first team since at least 1993 to have the ball inside their opponent's 10-yard line on each of their first 3 drives and not score on any of them. 2 fumbles, loss, 1 turnover on downs. What you got, Jamie?
Bear down. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I'm gonna tell you this much. It was a good game. It was a good showing by the Bears. I think Justin Fields being inserted, in my opinion, I think he's probably 2 weeks too early. But I was very happy to see him throwing the ball, right? Getting a chance to showcase his arm, because I think the one thing that we really hadn't seen, everybody expects his athletic plays and extending plays to kind of carry him and doing some improv things. But I think he's extremely accurate down the field, right? So and his mid-range throws, in my opinion, should be something to be excited about, right? Because again, last thing I want to see in this league right now are dump offs to my running back and being able to take everything underneath of what the defense gives me. I want to see that gunslinger shoot between the 15 and 20, 25 on a consistent basis and putting it on a clothesline to guys. And I think Justin showed that, so, and, as much as I'm going to say it too, the defense didn't look too shabby, right? So lots of pressure up front that got in the face, and really defense and their defensive backs, they hit coverages very well. I mean, those guys stayed disciplined. So maybe something to look for down the line. I ain't gonna make them NFC champs yet, but I thought they played some very good football.
Excuse me. So when you said you think he's 2 weeks early, what more did you think he need to learn or pick up before it was time for him to actually start?
So I don't think it's a matter of learning and sitting. I think it's a matter of at what point the Bears need that spark to make that peak at the season in the right time, right? I think, again, we talked this a few weeks ago, that rookie wall is real, right? We get these guys that start off very early. They burn themselves out right around week 10, week 11. You start to see that decline in performance and you start to see their struggles really pop out. When I say about 2 weeks too early, I believe his upside is really going to carry them late in the season as to where they need to be, and that is just playing sound football. And his ability to cut it loose and to make those risks and those calculated risks down the field, in my opinion, is going to help them make better decisions when it comes down to those tight games and where inches count.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I want to say this. I want to start out with this. Son, you're pretty happy about the win, but it's always two sides to every coin. You might be stuck with Nagy for a little while longer because of that win, man. Like, he would have lost that game. The Bears probably fired him on the spot.
He should have been fired last week. I think he set that child up last week.
Hey, and when Jameis said he was a couple of weeks too early, that's the first thing I thought. Like, yeah, he could have missed it last week. Hey,
dang,
but
I didn't. Oh my gosh,
he looked good, man. But I don't know what's happening with Montgomery. So, like, Montgomery was a life. I mean, not just him, but any running back is going to be a lifesaver for a young quarterback. Yeah. And we're going to talk about another young quarterback that didn't have any lifesavers, but still. But yeah, man, he looked good, man. The Lions, man, whew, poor Lions, man.
It's been rough for them. It's been rough.
Yeah, it's rough on them, man. And it's kind of like one of those situations with the Jets. We talked about it before. It's a culture thing. Like, the culture hired a coach, and they have right since they did. What's the name? Oh man, what's my guy's name? The black coach they fired. He was actually he had
Jim Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell.
With the Bears. I mean the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, they've been struggling. Jim Caldwell was at least respectable. Yeah. So I don't know, man, but I want to know what's going to happen with Montgomery or whatever before I make my prediction on next week, because Montgomery ran that thing super hard. Like, yeah, he was a real deal.
Yeah, when I got that alert, it kind of took the wind out of my sail a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we shall see. All right. Next, we have the Bills demolishing the Texans 40-0. The Bills had their second largest shutout in franchise history, behind only 42-0 shutout versus Brown in Week 9 in 1990. I'm not gonna read all this. Ced, you're up.
Yeah, man. I want to, man. I want to, like, I know the Bills are good, and I want to just go ahead and crown them because, I mean, they got everything that in place or whatever. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I watched the game. I watched highlights of the game. It got ugly. The Houston Texans, I don't know what to say about that, man. Like, I don't know. But I'm going to just waste my time on the Bills, man. The Bills got everything. I like the quarterback. I mean, they got the receiver. They got the D. They got the DBs, backers. I mean, they built. And not only that, if they get home field advantage, you know, it's tough to go into Buffalo for the playoff to win. So I enjoy watching them. I want to crown them, but some just in my spirit just saying don't do it yet, man, because I don't know, man. They're enigma. It's an enigma for me, man.
Yeah. They I thought they played a rounded game. They played a well-rounded game. You know, I mean, it was solid offense, right? They didn't make mistakes. They took advantage of what Houston was giving them, right? And defense, they were on top of it all. You know, they controlled the flow, they controlled the line of scrimmage. They didn't allow nothing downfield, you know, in terms of where they are. But, you know, and I didn't see them play down to the competition, right?
Yeah.
And that was the important part for me, because I think when you do, for me, Bills, like you said, they're a good team. They're a real good team. But, you know, sometimes good teams, when they get up early on a team, they have a tendency to play down. They start to play sloppy football, right? I didn't see that, you know, so I was very happy to see them, you know, kind of remain focused in what they're doing. The Texans, and I don't know if it's too late, but we need to get these cats to opt out for 20, you know, take a COVID break or something. I mean, look, got a lot of homeboys there, but we got some issues in Houston. We got a problem. We got a problem. We got a problem.
Did you say take a COVID break?
Got a COVID break or something, man.
That's not funny.
For real.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just like it was very embarrassing. I was like, wow. I mean, well, that's what you do when you fire people for no reason.
Yeah, it's becoming cultural, right? So, you know, they gotta fix it. They gotta fix it.
Oh, well. Up next, we have the Colts over the Dolphins, 27-17. Both teams are 1-3. Carson Wentz won his first start since week 8 of 2020. Jonathan Taylor has 70+ rushing yards for the first time in 4 games, this season. Only the Jets have a worse record than the Dolphins in weeks 1 and 4 since 2019. Jameion, the floor is yours.
This was painful to watch. This was 4 quarters of bad football. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched the Colts for Quentin Nelson, right? And he wasn't playing, so I was forced to watch Carson Wentz play, and you know,
he's sad.
Carson to me almost is playing as if he is searching for a handicap or a crutch, right?
Another injury.
Yeah, he's injured, he's limping, I don't see the same athlete, and we know he's a very good athlete, but I don't see the same guy that we saw in those early years of Philly, you know. And you know, the physical game, it catches up with you. This game catches up with you, but it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch for me. And you know, and the Dolphins, I'm not sure what's going on with Miami, but you know, you saw a lot of not my job football, right? You know, it was one of those things where these guys were really floating around the field and kind of assuming that someone else was going to pick up the slack, and they were waiting for the flame to ignite. You know, for the most part, you know, it's a such thing as playing, and then it's another thing to compete. You know, and I just thought those guys were out there playing. I mean, it was painful ball to watch for me.
Yeah. Well, hey, you said something. If they would just put a camera on Quentin Nelson and the Cowboys was playing and the Quentin Nelson camera was on, I'm watching Quentin Nelson. Like, he's my favorite offensive. I ain't gonna say offensive lineman because he might be my favorite player to watch.
Player. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I told you, man, I'm a skinny, I'm an undersized pulling guard. Like, that's what I should. In my spirit, I'm a pulling guard. But yeah, that game was bad, man. You said what happened to the Dolphins. Like I said, man, the quarterback is going to always be your, you know, that's going to be your gauge, your temperature. It's going to monitor your temperature, right? Last year, that team rallied around Fitzmagic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he's a brash quarterback. He talk trash. I mean, he's, you know, outspoken, not scared to make mistakes. You know, he's a different dude. That team rallied around him, and then they benched and put Tua in. And Tua's real nice. First of all, he's a rookie. Real nice, soft-spoken, don't want to make a mistake. I think that's what killed him right there. And then you trade, then you get rid of Fitzpatrick. So I think the Miami Dolphins are done until they, and nothing. It's not nothing against Tua. Tua can go somewhere else and be an all-star. But that team was built to follow a person like, you know, Fitzpatrick. As far as the Colts, man, Carson, I will wince if you get near me.
What's his name again? Tell me.
Carson, I will win if you get near me.
Okay,
hey man, it's just bad, man. And I like the little running back from Wisconsin, White, I think that's his name.
Jonathan Taylor. Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he runs hard, he's fast, and then, you know, I love watching him when he can run behind Quentin Nelson or whatever. But I don't know, man. They just don't have it, man. They need Peyton Manning.
So what now? He's at home, but he's retired like for years.
I know, they just need him on the sideline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they need because their culture is starting to go the way of. And I like the owner. You know, he loves his players or whatever, but they need to bring somebody in there to get them back together, or get Wentz out of there, and, you know, maybe back up and get your quarterback in there. That's gonna set the tone.
Interesting, yeah. Well, we shall see. This Washington over the Falcons, 34-30. I'm gonna just say this: Matt Ryan has been sacked in 32 straight games, fourth longest streak in it. Why they still have him? And who turn is it? Say it, yeah. I'm kind of feeling sorry for him, but what's going on?
And he's not a terrible quarterback. Like,
but they haven't been right since they lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's just like they have not been able to. It's like they got to get that out their head.
I haven't been right since that happened to them either, man. Like,
I mean, the internet keeps reminding them every year. It's right. Yeah. I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But he's not a terrible quarterback. But you gotta some of these games, man. I mean, they're scoring 28, 30 points, and they're still losing. So at that point, the defense gotta, you know, you gotta get your defense up, man.
Right.
And they can't stop anybody right now. They're like Missouri defense playing Tennessee. You know, I don't even think Missouri brought their defense to the game. And that's how. So that last play that let Washington win, man, that was just unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe it. And so I don't know, man. Like, Atlanta got its problems. I don't think Matt Ryan is a problem, but they, if the team is playing like that and he's a quarterback and they continue to play like that, that means, they're not following him. Like, or he's just not a dog and gonna mix it up for you. So maybe it is time to move on from Matt Ryan, but
yeah, and I didn't mean that he was a bad quarterback, but if you've been sacked 32 times, like you said, they not vibing with you. They sitting up letting you get sacked. Yeah. I wouldn't even want to come to work.
Yeah.
I think he at that point. But if Matt Ryan would go to like a team like say the Colts, I think he would be a good fit for a team.
Yeah. So that's what I was gonna say. With Atlanta, I think it's the pure definition of insanity, right? It's doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result, right?
Right.
I think I think Matty Ice still got some good years in him left, right? Still got a big arm. He ain't in the right system, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, you've got to get him back to him understanding who he is and not defaulting and doing those same things, but, having the confidence in himself to make those throws, right? His security blanket is no longer there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Julio's not there anymore, right? So we're getting a chance to understand who he truly is. And, and obviously he's just not comfortable in his own skin right now, right? Washington, though, again, I watched that game wanting to see these first rounders and this defense fly around and show me some level of hunger, and it was not there. I mean, I watched Chase, bring a little bit of energy in spurts. But for the most part, I mean, that defensive line and that front seven was kind of almost invisible, right? And they didn't have much of an impact, and you really expected to see those guys kind of show up to the party and turn that baby out. But I don't know. Maybe they're saving it all for late in the season. But I was really hoping that they would show me something this week.
You said that week one. You said
yeah.
You said the same thing, and I was thinking maybe it's just the first week, but we're in week 4 and they're still giving lackluster performances. Yeah. So, like you said, maybe they're saving it all for the end. I don't know. Cedric, ask your brother Percy what's going on, because that's
for the end. The end just gonna come real early.
Oh. Let me ask you this before we go on. So, Cedric, it's all boys. Yeah. Did all of y'all have different teams? Well, no, Brian is a Cowboy fan, right?
Yeah. The majority, the older 4 are Cowboy fans, and the last 2, Rod is a Denver fan, and the Percy is a Redskins fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just wondering about that. Okay.
We failed the last 2.
Oh, y'all failed the last 2?
Yeah, we failed them.
Now, this was a good game. The Seahawks, or the 49ers, 28-21. Russell Wilson has joined Hall of Famer Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks with 100+ wins in their first 10 seasons. Russell has a 16-4 career record versus San Francisco, including playoffs, his most wins versus any single opponent. The 49ers are the only team in the NFL to score a touchdown on each of their red zone drives this season. Deebo Samuel has joined Hall of Famer Jerry Rice and Dwight Clark as the only San Francisco player since 1950 with 90+ receiving yards in 3 of the team's first 4 games of the season. Both teams are 2-2. Jameion, you're up.
Russell continues to impress, right? Mm-hmm. He again kind of defies that gold standard, but I think this game we got a chance to see probably the end of Jimmy G. Okay. And I think it's about time. Trey Lance surprised me. He came in as a rookie and he showed, he showed a little bit of that warrior we always talk about, right? He was in there, looked like he started having some fun playing. And I think his team responded very well to him. And even though the defense, we know they have a strong defense and they've got a ways to come. But they were facing some dogs, some grown men over there. And but I don't think they played a bad game either. But I think right now, if I would definitely say if they had pulled out this win against Seattle, I don't think Trey would have seen the bench again this year. We may bring Jimmy G and see another appearance, but I think he's right now just 2 turnovers away from losing that job.
Yeah, and Jimmy kind of getting like Wentz too, man. Like, Lord, like what? I didn't even see. I don't even know what happened. Yeah, so I don't know, man. But like you said, dangerous. It's still that guy, man. Somebody asked me this week that I think he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I was like, if he's not, like, who is?
Right.
If Russ is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know who is or whatever. So, but I know that the Seattle won the game, man. But I was impressed with San Francisco, man. Yeah. And Trae Young. So it's kind of like
it was a good game.
Yeah, I got the same feeling I got watching Cincinnati and the Jaguars. Like Cincinnati won, I was happy about it. Russ won, I was happy about it. But I was like, man, as a football fan, I was pretty impressed with San Francisco and the Jaguars.
Yeah. Cool. This team is really I'm really digging them. We have the Cardinals over the Rams, 37-20. I know. They balling. They are balling. The Cardinals have 400 plus total yards for the 17th time in the Cliff Kingsborough era since 2019. Historic moment for James Conner, who had 2 rushing touchdowns in 2 straight games by ARI players since 1950. Matt Stafford had 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 21 rush yards. The Rams have allowed 30 plus points for the first time in their last 17 games. Jameion. No, who is this? Say it.
Yeah.
What you think about this matchup?
Hey, man. First of all, if the Rams would have had Cam Akers,
if the Rams had who?
Cam Akers.
Running back.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have been a different game. But saying all that to say this, the Cardinals are my Super Bowl pick right now. They just out there. They just out there having super.
Balling.
Yeah, they neighborhood. Hey, bro, your mama, you come outside. I want to throw you. And we just talked about that with Jalen. If Jalen's coach would let him, now don't get me wrong. I think Kyler got a much better arm than Jalen. But the way he's allowed to just create and play, that's what Jalen need, man. Man, I love watching them. I love watching them. They everything. I mean, he's running around. He has a great arm. The running backs are running over people. The defense, that's my Super Bowl team right now.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this much. I'm like saying, the Cardinals are having so much fun out there playing. But the other part of this, and we have to remember, the Rams, I don't think in the past maybe 2, if not 3 years, have been beat by the Cardinals, right? So we talking about 6, 7 straight. I felt like our Arizona's defense pretty much was like, hold up, bro, enough's enough, right? It was like that game where you watched and you stood up to your bully or your adversary,
right?
And those cats came to ball. Kudos to the organization, for the Arizona organization, for putting together the pieces of this team that we see right now. Offensively, yes, they are having fun, but you're starting to see some of the unspoken communication happening from a defensive perspective, right? I saw some guys take a chance, and you can see them covering for one another's, kind of the same way the Buccaneers, when you know, you had Monty, you had Lynch, you had Brooks, and all of those guys who instinctively knew when things happened, the breakdown wasn't inherently in what someone did, it's what someone else didn't do, right? I saw a little bit of that, and it was fun, man. It's fun watching Arizona play right now.
Yeah.
It really is. Go ahead, say it.
I said them boys out there for real, like they pulled up in the back of a pickup on a Saturday morning, man. They
got off and ready to go. And look, and D Hop, that grown man out there, I don't know who gonna stop. And when we gonna learn, we gonna have to triple, if not double cover D Hop at all times.
Yeah, or just give him the touchdown and be like, I'm just stop everybody else, because ain't nothing we can do with you.
You know, Jameion, you brought up, you know, it was like a bully finally, you know, you finally facing your bully and, you know, like doing what you need to do. That happened to me too. This guy was bullying me in the 5th grade, and, you know, I finally stood up to him, and he had one arm. When I say that boy beat me so bad with that one arm, it was like 4 arms. And he wasn't born like that. He lost it in the washer, being bad, and put his hand in the washer. But we ended up becoming very good friends. But I stood up to my bully. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna get him. No, he whooped me, okay?
Your bully had one arm, son.
He whooped me. I love you, Perry. I hadn't seen him in years, but we became very good friends later on. I was like, I need him on my side.
Look there. Hey, even though you took the L, man, you got the W in the end.
I got the W because he left me alone. He saw I wasn't no punk. Yeah. I mean, I was scared because I had never been in a fight before, but I was like, my grandmama was like, you tear him up. And when I came home, I said, Grandmama, he told me up. So
hold on one second.
Good. I won in the end. You're right. Okay, moving on. Steelers, you had one job. One. The Packers defeat the Steelers 27-17. Aaron Jesus Eyes Rodgers has tied Hall of Famer Dan Marino for the 6th most touchdowns in NFL history. Mason Crosby has made 24 straight field goals dating back to 2019. Ben has lost 6 of his last 8 starts after starting 11-0 in 2020. It's time to let it go. This was also a homecoming for Jay Watt, who is playing his first NFL game in Lambeau Field. Watt was born in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, which is 125 miles from Lambeau. What you got, Jameion?
I know everybody wanted to make a big fuss of it. Aaron Rodgers is who he is.
Yeah, whatever. He is.
He is who he is. And, you know, I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. I knew at a point this season, and I think I said it even on the show, we were going to get a chance to see him at his purest. And that is when people assume that he's not worth the time to do it in, right? You know, we talk about the draft, we talk about all this other stuff. Green Bay, again, will come and go as he comes and goes, okay? But I think we're getting a chance to see him put that chip back on his shoulder and figure out he's going to control his own destiny, ride or die, right? He's going to go out guns blazing. The Steelers, I do think they deserve more than the check downs. I was very surprised to see Ben checking down to Najee as much as he was. You know, Najee is probably going to be one of the contenders for Rookie of the Year, right? Najee, I mean, and he's a very good running back, and he's going to be there, and he has a lot of talent. But I was surprised to see Ben dump it off as much as he was, almost as if, you know, he really wasn't interested in going downfield, and that's just not him. So yeah, we may have you know, kind of a glimpse at the end of Ben, but Mike is really going to have a come to Jesus with that team, to be honest with you, because, you know, they didn't look like the Steelers. They were a little undisciplined and somewhat flat. right? So they're going to have to find a spark from somewhere. And I don't know if it's going to be with Ben, but, we just hope that, they figure it out soon, because otherwise I think we're going to have a lot of games like this where they just won't be able to turn that corner.
What quarterback can you see stepping up in Ben's place? That's not on the, I guess, not on the team right now.
So I don't. I'll put it this way. I don't think there's going to be a specific name that you put in that spot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to have to be somebody that displays some level of hunger and some level of toughness that the Steelers are known for, right? And I think someone who really just doesn't have, in my mind, I'm thinking of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Somebody who is going to pull the trigger, who is going to get out there and going to get in your face, a Phillip Rivers, or somebody who exemplifies and has that street ball, that street fight mentality, right? That's what they're known for. And that's where they play their best game, is when, they can stand in the middle of the ring, go toe to toe, and they know where to go. Unfortunately, I just don't see them, in the way that they're playing now, carrying that for the rest of the season and having success.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's gonna. If they keep going the way they're going now, they're gonna lose the team, man. I mean, everybody in Pittsburgh loves Big Ben.
Yep.
But
it's time to let him go.
I
think it's time to let him go.
Yeah. If anybody else on the team was playing that bad, and they were still out there playing, they've been made the move already. So Tomlin's gonna have to sit down with Big Ben and just say, hey, bro, I gotta put somebody else in there, because you can hang around, help groom the next, but it's time to make a move. And as far as like anybody else that I could see, like the only player in the league that I ain't gonna say the only player, but the one that will fit perfect in Pittsburgh is already in his perfect spot. He's in Buffalo, like Josh Allen. Like he's that type quarterback that could fit in Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh, man, it's a different breed, man. Like we was talking about bad cultures. Pittsburgh has probably one of the greatest cultures in sports. So, the quarterback is usually going to be a real blue collar, nothing flashy, short sleeve and 0 degree weather, that type. So
we talked about how tough of a team Pittsburgh has always been a few weeks ago. So yeah, it got to be that type of guy.
So we was talking about Cam going to. Cam doesn't.
He not the one.
Yeah, he doesn't fit that role. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are known to save some black quarterbacks from going into the abyss. So I like him.
No, I agree, but you just said like blue collar. Cam will put fringes on his muscle shirt, and because he flashy, he not gay, not understand. He just like he different, and he ain't that guy.
Not in Pittsburgh. Yeah, they don't want that. So
yeah. Next, we have the Ravens over the Broncos, 23-7. The Ravens defense had 5 sacks versus Broncos. The Ravens also had 102 rush yards versus Broncos, their fewest in a game, with Lamar Jackson as quarterback. What you got, Sid?
Man, they hurt my boy Teddy Two Glove. So after that, I knew it was over. But man, I'm gonna spend my time talking about the Ravens, man. Everybody's mad about the Ravens going for the little rushing title with the extra 3 yards. And I just want to share a story about what Steve Spurrier said to us. He was beating us 42 to something at halftime. And our coaches complained after the game that Steve Spurrier ran the score up. And he said, hey, you don't think the parents of my 3rd and 4th string want to see their kids score? And that's all he said. And that point across. Like, it's not my job to stop my kids from shining in front of their parents. It's your job. And so to get that out of the way. But man, Lamar Jackson, man, I mean, he stayed in the pocket, man. That boy was like he was throwing it. And I know they say it's the least amount of rushing yards that they've had because, you know, he didn't run it as much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was in the pocket, letting it rip. And I need to see more games of him doing that because when it comes to the playoffs, that's what he's gonna have to have.
Right.
So yeah. So I was pretty impressed, man.
I was super impressed. So I'm gonna take you back to actually last week. I think we're seeing an evolution happen with Lamar. Okay, Lamar last week, week 3, in that close game they had on 4th down, when you know he said, "Give me the rock." That solidified my love for Lamar Jackson, right? I mean, despite the talent, despite the flash, to me, I saw a dude who was so enthralled and could care less about the potential injuries and all this other stuff. He was fully into the game, right? I think we saw him this week because I think people looked at him and said, "Hey, Lamar's gonna have to rush the ball in order for them to win that game." And he flipped the script on him, right? I think he caught the Broncos defense somewhat off guard because he didn't run. They spent their time spying on him at a time when he wasn't even trying to go anywhere, right? You know, and it's at that point they're exposing themselves in the defensive backfield. So I was very impressed with the way that they were able to evolve and understand that from a game plan perspective, we can play chess all year long, but you're gonna have to figure out if you're gonna protect your queen or if you're gonna come attack me. And that is a scary team to face late in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I do want to say this though. In that game against the Chiefs, when he flipped in the end zone, if I was his teammates, I would have been over there, be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, you take it up here. Like, you can't be over here self-mutilating."
Say that for when it counts.
Yeah. So hopefully somebody got in his ear like, "Hey, man, don't do that anymore." Like, yeah. But that's my only problem with Lamar.
Okay. The Sunday primetime event was the Bucks at the Patriots. They of course honored Tom Brady and then booed him every time he touched the ball.
I love the Patriots.
Huh?
I said I love the Patriots fans, man.
Right.
Yeah.
The Bucks pulled this out 1917. That was a hurter. That was a heartbreaker too. Tom Brady is the 4th quarterback in NFL history to defeat 32 different teams. He's in company with Favre, Peyton Manning, and Breeze. Tom Brady has 116 quarterback wins at Gillette Stadium, 21 more than the next closest quarterback in a single stadium in NFL history. Mac Jones completed 19 straight passes, tying Tom Brady for the longest streak in a game by a New England quarterback over the last 30 seasons. The Patriots have lost each of their first 3 home games for the first time since 1993. Jamie, your thoughts on this matchup?
So I don't think there's any more that we can say about Tom Brady, right?
It's nothing else.
It's nothing else to be said, right? And you know, he is the standard, right? You know, you can break the mold or whatever it is. You can call it mentality. Physically, he ain't gonna impress you, but that man beats you with his mind and with his will. Okay. I am now on the Mac Jones bandwagon, though. Because even in that arena, we always want to make quarterback play against quarterback, but against a very good defense, who I think that Tampa Bay has a very good defense, Mac stepped up. Mac made them play on their heels a little bit, you know, in the rain and in an arena where they should have been fully comfortable to basically trip this rookie up. Okay. I saw Mac be extremely poised and comfortable with doing some of those things out there. And, you know, we know the weather was one thing and you know, look, the reception and Tom and the environment. And I think really Patriots fans are probably some of the most intelligent fans as we know, because, you know, hey, just like you diffuse Tom with the adulations and the applause, but yet you get out there and you boo him first of all. It takes all of his defenses away, you know, right? It takes all of his edginess off, you know, because he becomes more of a show than anything else. And I think that was purposely done, but I think of the quarterback duels in this game, Mac Jones's performance is one that now makes me look at him and say, hey, we may be watching something here. I was impressed with Mac.
Yeah. Hey man, Cam Newton said something when they cut him that most people didn't pay attention to. Cam Newton said, hey, the Patriots offense is different from 99% of other offenses in the NFL, meaning that the quarterback is making all the calls and not the center, and the quarterback is making all the calls. So when you go back to Tom Brady having issues when he first got to Tampa, the centers were making the calls. They didn't have any emotions. Bruce Arians' offense don't have any emotions.
No.
And so, he was having a hard time reading the defense. And that's because, and I call it Bill's offense. You have the motions and the quarterback make all the calls. So you know exactly what's going on. You're in total control. Saying all that to say this, Mac Jones is a rookie. And everybody's saying, well, the Bucs they had people off the street playing in the secondary. The secondary is not what's going to beat you with the Bucs. It's the front seven that kill you. You don't have no time to really throw the ball or work. They play cover two, man. They're not really out there, doing anything special in the secondary.
And they do it well.
Yeah, and they do it well. So for Mac Jones to come in there, and you saw him get up to the line. I mean, he's making all the calls. It's in the rain. He didn't have any run game, couldn't run the ball 1 yard. And for him to have that type of game when everybody knew he had to throw the ball was amazing, man. It was amazing. And to listen to some people that don't understand football say, oh, he ain't scored but 14 points. I said, what?
that was different. That was different. That was
different.
If his caliber was not up to standard, that would have easily been a shutout for the Bucs.
Yeah.
Right.
And not to mention this is the biggest thing though. You're in the house that Tom Brady built, listening to the crowd, like have all kind of adulation for the man, and you following in his footsteps. I know Cam was the last quarterback that was there, but you in Brady's footsteps, and you a rookie, and you playing Brady, and you managed to stay in the game and have what he had, man. I'm a Mac Jones fan, but I will say this: put Mac Jones on the Jets team, and he would be average. He would look average, at least at this point right now, because the Jets are just bad. And that's not saying Mac is a bad player. That's just saying
the culture with the Jets.
Yeah, and sometimes you land in the right place. So to go back to Tom Brady, when he came out of the draft, if Tom Brady had went to the Raiders, he would have been trash. Because he wouldn't have had the time or the person to develop him. He had all the tools for this specific offense, and he got there, which was his mind. First of all, that's Tom Brady's biggest thing, his brain. In the Raiders offense back then, you didn't need brain. All you need to do is be able to throw it 100 yards. That's what they was drafting. And so I'm a big believer. The right place at the right time for the right player, you get the results you see, like a Tom Brady, a Mac Jones, other quarterbacks don't land in suitable, not just quarterbacks, but players don't land in suitable positions like that, and they fizzle out. So, but it was a good game, man. I enjoyed it. I'm kind of happy Tom won because I'm not a huge Tom fan, but I'm happy he won, man, because I'm a fan of the play.
I mean, I was, and I think I know what you mean when you say that, because you wanted to show that he can still beat his old team and I mean, some people may say it was a rookie quarterback, but I'm like you, Matt, he did a really good job against Tom
Yeah.
Brady and the Bucks. I mean, it's nothing to slight at. He did a
Nah.
pretty good job.
Yeah. And Tom was playing against, and I want to say this too. Bill Belichick,
Yeah, still Bill.
he pretty much held Tom to no touchdowns. So you got to give him respect too, man.
Yeah, it's still Bill.
Yeah, he's still Bill.
I mean, he built that monster, so he knows how to stop Tom. And he, like you said, it could have been worse. So
yeah. So it was awesome to watch him go back and forth. It was like two bulls just butting heads, man. I appreciated every second of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Monday Night Football, last but not least, the Chargers topped the Raiders 28-14. Both teams are 3-1. However, the Chargers are the AFC West #1 seed later than week 4 of a season for the first time since week 6 of 2014. The Chargers defense had 4 sacks, tied for their most in games versus Raiders since 2009 of week 8. Derek Carr is the first quarterback in Raiders history with 2+ passing touchdowns in each of the team's first 4 games of the season. Seb, what you got?
Man, going back to what I just said about the Raiders, right? And the quarterback. John Gruden's teams will be good as long as everything goes right for them. Like, the Raiders are loaded with talent, super talent. They do a lot of moving before the snap and all that, but it's really for nothing. Like, it's it's just for show. It's for people that don't really know football. You know, he got these John Gruden has these long, drawn out play calls, and he could simplify it to like 2-3 words.
So why do you think he does that?
Because, you know, John Gruden is a show, man. Like, he is more of a, you know, he's a personality. He's a character. Okay. You know, the Chucky, you know, and he came on as a young, brilliant offensive coordinator. And he's cool, but I got to study his playbook when I was still playing. And I realized that all that motion and stuff he was doing was for nothing. It was just wasting time. Like, he ran the same plays over and over and over again. And it's a lot of YJs, snot, right, rip, cut, whatever. Yeah. So I don't know, man. They always gonna start out good. They did last year. They started out good, then you get film, and you know, people start getting onto it. And so last night, I said all that to say this. Last night when Carr, they started getting a hold of Carr, and all of that running around, and you know, it was over, man. It was over so fast, man. It was ridiculous. The Chargers got a good team. I enjoy watching them play. They got the D-line, Bosa. You know, I'm just happy they won, man.
Yeah. I'm with, you know, say the Chargers. They showed up. They played solid football. I can tell you the one person that I saw, even on the Chargers defense, and I mean, you think about their D-line and everybody else with the, you know, Bosa and those guys, but Derwin James, Derwin, man, he was bringing something special for me, and you know, and a lot of times, you know, safeties when they start standing out like that, it makes me think back to, you know, the Rod Woodsons and the Troy Palomalus and, you know, Ronnie Lotts. I mean, those guys that kind of become the cornerstone of a very good defense. And I thought Derwin, man, he played an awesome game, right? You know, I think he had a, you know, interception late when they knew that they were going, you know, Derek was going to his security blanket with Waller, and he was all over it. He was all over it. And, you know, man, you know, the Chargers they're going to be a team to deal with, you know, and for everybody that comes out, you know, that, you know, they're looking at, you know, how these guys are playing. But to be honest with you, you know, Justin Herbert has done nothing but, you know, just to continue to raise his game and play with some level of, understanding that, look, he's been here before and he's done this before. And, they're playing well. They're playing very well.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I love Waller too, man. I know I bash the Raiders, but I love a tight end that's mean, big, and unlike the Cowboys tight end Schultz that catch the ball and fold up before he didn't get hit, man. Did you see that?
You said, did you see that?
I just like, man, where the Cowboys be getting these big soft body tight ends?
Oh, you did put. I didn't know what you talking about because I was at the other game, but I saw your post when you said that.
Yeah, man, he caught a ball, turned upfield. He saw the safety coming, and he balled up and allowed the safety to blast him. Then he fumbled. Yeah. It was crazy. But I love Waller, man. I'm not a John Gruden fan, but they got the Raiders are loaded with talent.
Yeah, they are. Okay, well, we did good. I'm proud of you guys. We finished, but now it's time for you can get with this or you can get with that. And as you know, this is a way for me and the listeners to get to know the guest. I'll ask a few questions and you let me know which one best fits you. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
So you said Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know what? As I've gotten older, I'm a Thanksgiving girl too. I think. I mean, I still love Christmas. I mean, but it's just, I don't know. I guess because the dressing and everything comes with Thanksgiving first. So yeah.
I think once you get to Christmas, man, everything is starting to die down. Like Thanksgiving is like the beginning of everything. Like yeah. So that's why I like Thanksgiving the most.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this much. Christmas has become my favorite because as much as I didn't believe in the elf on the shelf, I have way
oh my gosh
with the elf on the shelf.
Cedric, it is so okay. I've been knowing Jameion, it'll be 7 years next month. When I say every Christmas is so much fun, it's hilarious at his house.
Look,
gosh.
My elf on the shelf, they have gang wars. We go to clubs. We cook it. Oh man. I love the elf on the shelf.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I love them. Hot tea or hot chocolate?
Hot tea.
Chocolate.
I think it depends. Like right now, when I finish with y'all, I'm gonna take some Theraflu and hot tea. So it depends on the situation.
Get that Theraflu and some hot chocolate, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Going to
That's nasty, all that sugar. No, thank you. Haunted houses or scary movies?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with scary movie, man. Like I'm still scarred from haunted houses.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna have to go scary movie too. I can haunted house is a little too real.
Yeah. I stole on like 3 people that jumped out on me. So
well, don't make me. Well, I don't like neither one, haunted houses or scary movies. So none for me. No, thank you. Carving pumpkins, y'all got kids, or painting pumpkins?
Ooh.
Yeah. The last time I carved a pumpkin, man, it was pretty rough, man. I'm gonna just say paint. Yeah. I'm pumpkin, man.
Okay, painting. Jay?
I'm about to go carving. Look, I have found the secret to carving. I go get those little kits and then add my own accessories to it. Yeah, I'm a carve master.
Nice.
Carve
master. Take it to a whole new level.
Look, man, got all the little tools with it. Oh yeah, we have fun with those.
I was out here with a butter and a
Did you say butter knife?
Yeah, butter knife and a box blade. Straight hood, man.
Yeah, you continue to paint. You're not sophisticated enough to carve a pumpkin, apparently. He got tools and said you paint. So this week the Mississippi State Fair comes in town, and I got to ask a couple of questions. I'm not, well, I was planning on going, but they're saying they're having I was just going to see Genuine, he's performing. They said that they're having a section where they're going to take it back to the good old days, to the 1800s. I'm like, that wasn't the good old days for Blacks. So I don't want to make a mistake and go over there and they got dogs chasing me.
Hey, man.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand what was, I don't know. So apparently it's not
Make the fair great again.
Huh?
They trying to make the fair great again.
Yeah.
I don't want that throwback.
This is their, I think, 167th year. So yeah, I'm gonna let them. I think I'm gonna pass. Yeah, I don't want to get mistaken for Mamie, and they didn't put me in the house. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So if you were going to the fair, turkey leg or funnel cake?
Turkey leg.
Yeah, I'm going with that turkey leg.
Funnel cake for me.
Yeah.
Really taffy, but my dad used to get me taffy all the time, so I have to get it every year. Except last year due to COVID. Roller coaster or bumper cars?
I'm roller coaster.
Bumper cars. Keep me
Bumper
off
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the drop straight down.
No. I don't know. Bumper cars. Warm sweaters or cozy PJs? We're in the fall, going into winter.
I don't know, man.
Neither.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Neither. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with warm sweaters, man, because I like ugly sweater parties, man.
Oh. Plus, and see, what Jamie and y'all probably wore at your high school, but see, when we were in high school, a boy with a nice sweater coming to school, we'd be like, whoo-hoo! So, we used to like that. That's like,
yeah, look, I
wasn't
that guy. I wasn't that guy.
Yeah, we like sweaters. I would, look how he's laughing. I like cozy PJs with fuzzy socks, especially, like when it's really, really cold. Oh, I love it. But I love sweaters.
That just sounds too hot.
No, it's not. It's speaking of hot.
So I am shorts in 20-degree weather outside.
No, thank you.
A tank top on and a fire. I'm good.
The boy need to play quarterback for the Steelers.
Oh, hey, get it. Just get it.
That's who they need you. They need you. There you have it. There you have it. Steeler fans.
Yeah.
Speaking of hot, chili or red beans and rice?
Red beans and rice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some red beans and rice, man.
I
if
made
somebody
that last
tell
week.
me how to eat red beans and rice and not get like major gas, I'm gonna do that.
I don't get it. I made it last week. Well, you're supposed to wash your beans. That helps.
You gotta soak them beans in hot water and baking soda. Baking soda.
Baking soda.
Baking soda and hot water. Soak them in there.
Now that's if you cook it in the pot. I put mine in the crock pot. So it's soaking. So yeah, it's a little different. So that's how you get rid of the gas part, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But I love red beans and rice. I made some last week too. They were pretty good. Hey, I'm pretty good on them red beans and rice.
Me too, and chili. See, I can see me with the fuzzy socks and the pajamas with some chili.
I just feel like you need to move to Gatlinburg.
Oh, that would be so nice. Just for the fall. I would love that. That is so nice. Look, y'all about to cuss me out when I ask this. Watching football or holiday movies?
No question. No question, man.
Is that even a question?
Yeah.
But wait, what if one of y'all had been like, holiday movies? I mean,
like what? About football?
So football for both?
Yeah.
Look at Jamie. See, I knew it. Look at Jamie and thinking about it.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I know him. Movie. I know that one right there, Spencer.
Hold on. So let me put it this way.
Okay.
The only way I'm gonna choose holiday movies unless it's a football movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen a Christmas football movie. Well,
maybe it's time to make one.
Yeah. The program Christmas edition.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, we can do anything with phones and stuff now, so let's try. Is this my last one? Yeah. Thanksgiving football games or Christmas basketball games?
Oh, Thanksgiving football for me.
Ooh.
That goes right along with my Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Thanksgiving football games. You know, one of my hangups in high school is that, you know, when you always playing multiple sports, I always got real mad at the people who were trying to go play basketball during football season because I felt like I was cheating on my girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, basketball just ain't right for me until after the Super Bowl.
Well, it's not this now. If it had still been the era with Mike,
and then the Cowboys are playing Thanksgiving.
Yeah. If it had been like with, you know, the Michael Jordan era back in the day, I would choose basketball, but I'm going with football as well. So,
Hey.
Ooh.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Guys, as usual, it has been a blast. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And hey, you can follow me at She Says She Says Sports on Facebook, She Says She Says Sports 23 on Instagram, at She Says She Say 23 on Twitter. And please, please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Says She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for now. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Says She Say Sports.